All right, welcome back to another episode with the commissioner, your host, your guide to hopefully a successful fantasy football. But again, most important, have some fun. Hey, welcome, Vitali,
Hello,
Matt,
hello,
Vitali.
hello. I know what
All right,
happened.
so today I have four more games to go over, start or bench, and then
Mhm.
we have some questions we're going to answer. So you ready to get this done?
Let's go for it. I hear first game we're going over is Bucks and Broncos.
The Bucks and the Broncos at the Broncos. What happened to the Broncos? Everybody's injured. Yeah, so Jury looks like he might be out. So he's dealing with an injury. There's nobody left on that team at this point. Their quarterback is done. They signed Blake Bortles. So you remember
Bortles.
Blake Bortles
I remember. What was he up to for the last season or two?
looking for a job, like a lot of not okay quarterbacks out there. So from the Broncos, I think the only start for me is Melvin Gordon and Noah Fant. I think,
Who's
yeah,
gonna throw the ball to Fant?
Driscoll,
Okay.
Mr. Driscoll. He's okay. He's played there before, so it's not his first gig
Mhm.
in Denver. So Noah Fant is the only. He's Noah Fant's really good, so he's the only kind of weapon out there right now. Um, Everybody else, I mean, Deshaun Hamilton, he's played with him before, I think.
Mhm.
So Melvin Gordon, Noah Fant, nothing else in this game. I think the Broncos they're done.
Well, they've
They're
been
done.
done for what since last season. Wasn't looking good.
Yeah, nothing has been. I mean, they had a good draft of getting Jerry Judy, but nothing else. So
Mm.
I think this is an easy game for the Bucs, for Tom Brady. Going to Denver is not easy.
And how long is
But
Lindsay out for?
I think he's a couple of weeks, probably, maybe more.
Okay.
So, but I think this is a really easy game for the Bucs. I know going into Denver is usually tough,
Hmm.
but their defense has a bunch of injuries on their defense. So I think Tom Brady could have a decent day. So you start Tom Brady.
But,
Chris Godwin, Mike Evans. Chris Godwin's back.
yep. Finally, it's been a couple of
Finally,
weeks.
yeah, it just sucks. I hate when missing good players. So we get missing so many good players. So at least in this game, the two almost top rated, top 20
And
wide
by a couple
receivers.
of weeks, I mean 1 week. He was out 1 week. So,
Yeah, but even that first game wasn't all stellar. So it's nice to see maybe the two of them play together.
see how they use him.
Hmm. So
Plus, the
definitely
ball
Mike.
flies higher in Denver, right?
Yeah, further,
Further.
further. And then Ronald Jones and Fournette, I don't know what to do with those guys. I wouldn't start any of them.
It's a hit or miss, I think.
Yeah, it's like you
Yeah.
you could start Fournette and just so the coach came out and said that Fournette's going to get the fourth quarter, second half more roles in the fourth quarter. So that's what's going to happen. Ronald Jones might get the starting gig, and
That's
then
such a weird
Fournette's
thing,
going to.
weird thing to say. What if you're up by like 4 touchdowns?
Well, yeah, but that's games. It's always game scripted, so that
Correct.
could be it too.
Okay.
So
All right. So Brady, Godwin, Evans, Gordon, Fant. Everyone else, don't bother.
yeah, maybe Ronald Jones or Fournette if you're desperate. So
Yeah, it's a
all
boomer
right.
bust.
So and did you read about Gronk?
What happened to Gronk?
Bruce Arians, the coach for the Bucks, say he's more of a blocker.
Yeah, that's what Gronk's been known for most of his
Oh
career.
yeah, he's
Tom
not a
Brady
bad blocker.
barely threw the ball to him when he was
No.
in the Patriots. Yeah.
So that's
All
another
right.
note on that game.
Cowboys, Seahawks. Let's go. Okay,
All
we're
right,
drinking, so
it's all right. All right, I'll ask you, who would you start in this game? See if we align here.
um well, obviously Russell Wilson, right? I mean,
Well,
he's
both quarterbacks, right?
correct, but I think Wilson at this point is, if you have a couple of guys you're choosing from, always go with Wilson. They're letting him throw like never before, and you don't want to miss out on those points.
He might end up the number one QB at the end of the year. It's a good chance.
Yeah, which sucks for the people who picked Lamar Jackson in round 1. Yeah,
Yeah, or round two or round three. Mahomes winning
sorry,
round three.
sorry guys. Mahomes is going to do well. I don't think he's going to do Russell Wilson well, at least the way they've been playing now.
Yeah, he's throwing a lot of touchdowns. It's insane.
All right, so we got Prescott, Zeke, Cooper, Lamb. Lamb's an interesting one.
Yeah, well, we didn't finish with the Seahawks. Sorry, what about the wide receivers there?
Oh,
You start Tyler Lockett, you start DK Metcalf.
Chris Carson.
He's a start. You got to start him at this point. They're going to use him. They're using him in the passing game. They're going to run the ball. It's not they're always passing. They're going to try to run, not as
Mhm,
much as before, but Chris
correct.
Carson's a must start.
And now Carlos Hyde, is he just a bench from now on?
Hmm. Until something happens to Chris Carson, yeah. But they're trying to use him, so
They they try, but it's it's not looking good for Carlos Hyde owners, and I'm a Carlos Hyde owner in our dynasty league.
Yeah, but if something happens to Chris Carson, then at least we know whose job it is
So
after
I guess
that.
we should get a few hitmen.
Oh, you could. So what about those Cowboys, huh?
Cowboys.
So you start
Well,
Dak Prescott. He's
they're the ones that came back last week, right? The big
yeah,
comeback.
yeah, the crazy comeback.
Tough way
All
to
right,
lose.
so you start Zeke,
Yep.
Amari Cooper, and CeeDee Lamb for me is always interesting because it feels like we talked about this before. He feels like he surpassed Michael Gallup.
Correct. So speaking of Gallup, sit.
This is a 50-50. If you're desperate, I started in Thursday night's game in our Dynasty League where I have Gallup. I took him out because I'm still dealing with the Galladay injury. So I took him out and I put Laviska Shenault because in the Thursday night game because DJ Chark wasn't playing. So I'm like, hey, this guy's getting a lot of targets. So it didn't end well for me because
How'd that work out for you?
not well. Minshew had a really bad game. And so I took a shot. On a couple of Miami's defense came out and played well. They had a good game script and they followed it. And look, Minshew could have had 2 touchdowns and actually salvaged the game, but he missed on a couple of throws. And so you get what you get. It's fantasy life and you move on. That's what in my head, that's how I process it.
Correct.
Everybody else you sit. All right, move on.
Miami did look good though. You're watching them, you're like, who?
Yeah, but the Jaguars defense is, oh my gosh.
Even the Miami defense looked pretty decent.
Yeah.
They got their first sack, I think.
Yeah, but that's how I think you game script. They really prepared really well. It was a short week, and it looks like they prepare well for the Jaguars. So impressive for the defensive coordinators there.
All right, Packers and Saints. Go.
Packers and Saints. My Packers on this one. Who do you predict to win this game? At the Saints.
The way the Saints have been playing, I'm going to have to go with the Packers.
Okay, so let's go back and Devonta Adams might not play, so it's almost going to be a game time decision. He's doubtful. I don't think he's playing. And then you have Michael Thomas ruled out already. So the 2 top guys, they're very interesting teams. The 2 top guys, their wide receivers are amazing. First round picks. And then after that, there's a bunch of nobodies for the wide receivers.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's an interesting game because you got the top guys out and people have been asking me, should I start Traquan Smith or should I try MVS, Lazard? And I'm like, I don't know. I think this is going to be a defensive game.
Okay. I mean, they still have Aaron Jones and Alvin Kamara, 2 of the top
in
the league. So
they will be thrown to. That's a guarantee. So start Aaron Jones, start Alvin Kamara. Those are for me for sure starts. Everybody else it's iffy there. I mean, even on the Saints, I'm looking at everybody and I'm like,
is it
a bunch of question marks. Alan Lazard.
It's not a start for you this week.
No, if I put down in my notes, if Adams is out, MVS is a better start.
Okay.
But it's still, I'm not happy with this game.
But still, Adams is a game day decision, correct?
He's doubtful. I'm pretty sure he's gonna be out. And again, you don't want to wait. And this is a Sunday night game. Do not wait till Sunday night unless you have MVS and you plug him in.
Yeah, unless you have someone to plug in, or
because
you might plug in for Monday night.
Exactly. So go in, be prepared. If you have Adams, I have Adams in a few leagues, and so
I think the Packers might take this one just based off.
I'm a Packers fan, and I have a feeling this is a defensive game, and Saints will cover.
You think Breeze is pissed off from last week?
Yeah, I think they're going to be really prepared for this game. They're at home. I know there's no crowd, because that plays something. That plays a role.
Yeah, it plays a big role.
So on this one, everybody's a sit. It's not a great game. I'm not happy. But if the Packers win, Packers are legit. Okay. If they win this game, if they pull this game out at the Saints.
Whoever plays a better defensive game wins.
Yeah, and I think both defenses are okay. I wouldn't start them either.
What do you think the score is going to be?
So it's 53 over under for Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
I'm calling under 53. At least when I checked, it was 53. Saints are predicted to win by 3 by a field goal kick by Vegas. So my prediction was what was I predict? I was talking to somebody today. It was probably 24-17 or.
I'm going to say 13-10.
No, that's not going to be that low. No. This is going to be in the 20s. One team will get to the 20s.
Double down your money on this one. 13-10.
But you can't double down on that. So if you're betting Vegas, you bet under. So you bet the under over
obviously
53 total points. So
I understand how that works.
I agree with the under. I definitely agree with the under in this one. All right. Last one, a Monday night game. That's gonna be a doozy.
Ravens.
I cannot wait for this one. I think the defenses are not gonna show up to this one. I think they all have their weapons.
Will we see the Lamar Jackson of last year?
He's been okay.
It's been
So
okay. He hasn't been horrible.
no,
But he definitely hasn't been the Lamar Jackson of last
no,
year.
not what you expected. All the rushing touchdown, all the rushing yards. So he's. But again, this is a good game to see. It's gonna be prime time. Both teams want to show up. I think the Ravens want to prove something. I think the Ravens take this one and win it. They do want to prove more than the Chiefs. Again, the Chiefs won the Super Bowl. So
Right.
it is in Baltimore. So again, you start Lamar Jackson, you start Marquise Brown, you start Mark Andrews, and from the Chiefs, you start Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, CEH, and Travis Kelce. And Mark Ingram is the big question, right? So, but again, if people have Mark Ingram, I'm not sure who you're picking up at this point with all these running backs gone.
Correct. Ingram's going to be tough because Lamar Jackson can take a few of those touchdowns.
Yeah, and Ingram hasn't been used as much. They've been using all three guys. J.K. Dobbins, you wouldn't start at this
They
point.
still use Ingram from time to time at the end zone, right?
We haven't seen it yet. Like he had a long touchdown run last week. That's his only touchdown for the season. So this is an easy game for starts or bench.
Why would anyone consider starting either one of these defenses?
You could. Yeah, it's hard. Ravens have a good defense, but I just think you cannot just just say, okay, Patrick Mahomes is going to have a really bad game. He might, but dude, he's going to throw the ball. They have weapons there. I can't see.
Okay. All right, fair enough. So
all right, we have some questions there.
Yep. Let's get to the first one. So we're going to do some Q&As here. Since we're just talking straight players, Jordan Reed or Logan Thomas, because this is actually a question I have too.
I've seen this last
week. Last week, we talked about this.
Yes, we did.
With your gut, and I regret it.
What are you going to do this week? That's the question. What are you going to do? Because you listen to me.
So in my dynasty, I have Reed. In my regular, I have Thomas. So I'm definitely starting Reed since Kittle's out for sure.
I'm doubling down.
You're doubling
Logan
down on
Thomas.
Yes. All right. And I am not listening to you. I'm going to pick up Reed right now.
You're going to regret it.
Okay. I will regret it, but at least I have myself to blame and not you, Mr. Commissioner.
Okay. All right. So there you go. It's almost like a 50-50 call. Look, I could be wrong on this, but I'm not going to trust Mullins.
I honestly don't like anyone from the Washington football team. It's so...
How can you not like watching? How can you... Terry McLaurin, watching that guy play, and now he has a connection. It's just, oh man, he's so good. And hopefully Antonio Gibson kind of goes off in this game. I mentioned in the prior podcast and sit and start. I want to start him, but
I don't know.
All right.
I'm going to say Reed over Thomas, but if you guys want to listen to...
You're going to say Reed over Thomas, or you're going to start Reed over Thomas?
I'm going to start Reed over Thomas.
Okay, you said sit. So I think that's your gut talking right there. That is your gut.
I said I'm going to start.
No, it's recorded.
We will replay this.
You will.
Okay.
All right.
I'm going to find out we're about 13 minutes left, so... Good. I'll do that later. All right. This question's from Leon. Start Gallup.
Start two. So I think he wants to start two players here, right?
Got it. So start two players. Gallup, Josh Kelly, Fuller, Traquan Smith, or Marquise Brown.
Here's a question for you. Who would you start out of these if you had to start two?
I'd go Joshua Kelly and Marquise Brown.
Would that be a difference if it's a PPR league or a standard league?
I think Kelly gets a few good tosses every now and then. They throw to him. They also throw to Eckler. And it seems like for the first 2 weeks in total, I think Josh Kelly had more touches than Eckler did.
Yeah.
So they're definitely shared, right? And they produce points. So if you have Eckler or Kelly, I don't know how you would sit him this week, no matter what he's projected.
Yeah, my gut tells me start Joshua Kelly in any format and Marquise Brown. For me, Fuller and Traquan Smith are out. Like, I'm not going to deal with that. For me, the hiccup here is Gallup, but it's people get that, right? When Gallup doesn't have a good week, people tell me, I'm not going to start the guy again. Well, be careful because
that's how I feel about Singletary this week.
But hey, I got some good news for Singletary.
Yes.
Zach Moss is out.
Oh.
Singletary is going to.
But even if Singletary the last two games had all of all of Moss's points, he'd still be a low end.
Maybe low end
So,
again, but yeah. So I think it should, yeah, Singletary would be fine.
I'm thinking they're gonna really get on Josh Allen, and they're gonna have to run the ball a lot more this week. So
Yeah, that's a good. They're finally facing a good defense. So for me, Joshua Kelly and Marquise Brown are the starts.
yeah, that's what I said. Okay.
All right.
All right. Question for Matt, not this Matt, but a different Matt. Galladay. I mean, this question's for MySpace, right? I think we talked about it.
Yeah,
Galladay. It's not 100%. Start him over AJ Green or Gallup.
Oh, this one is. I have Galladay in 6 out of 8 leagues. I have so many decisions to make on Galladay. He's not 100%. For me, I'm going all in. I'm starting Galladay in every league. That's
over AJ Green.
Over AJ Green. I would start him over AJ Green and Gallup.
It's either this week or next week where we're really going to see AJ Green.
Yeah.
AJ Green, we remember. It's getting there. We almost got there in week 2. So just for that reason, let's start AJ Green.
Okay. And I get it because, again, we don't know Galladay. He's not fully healthy. Correct. Might be limited. That's my fear. But I got to start him. If he's playing, if he's in for sure, I'm starting him. Because him and Stafford have a rapport. So
split decisions there, folks. All right. Question from Nick: Hawkinson or Goddard? I don't even know how to pronounce that guy's name.
Hawkinson Goddard. TJ Hawkinson. He's in the same game with Galladay.
The way you pronounce the name next to it.
Yeah, for you. Yes, I'll do that for you.
Especially for me. We don't want another whatever. Like I did.
I don't know.
You always give me shit for it. What's his name?
Bilal Powell.
Yeah.
Bilal Powell. Dude, I remember that draft just sitting there. It's like Bilal Powell. What the hell is that?
I may have been a little drunk too. So.
Yeah, we're all kind of all right. So TJ Hawkinson, I wouldn't start, especially if Galladay's playing. I'm not trusting him. Goddard, I am going to start. Again, they lost the Rager, the another wide receiver. So who is one's going to throw to but Ertz and Goddard? So that's an easy one.
All right. Thank you, Nick. And another question from Michael. For his flex, Juju or Fournette?
Juju's in. Juju has some injury concerns during the week, but it looks like he's in. I checked today. I'm starting Juju. It was like at this point.
We already talked about Fournette and our concerns.
Exactly.
If you're looking for boom or bust, go with Fournette. But if you're looking for some solid
I think, stability. Stability with Juju. All right.
All right. Next question from JD. Should I trade CMC and Corey Davis for Mixon and DJ Moore? Ooh.
This is one where, which side are you on? Because Corey Davis looks good without A.J. Brown, but A.J. Brown is coming back.
Correct. Mixon's had a tough start. I'm hoping I have in my league as well. I'm hoping he makes it.
Would you, if you don't have Mixon and you don't have DJ Moore and you had Christian McCaffrey, would you do that trade?
Depends. First of all, what league are we in, right? Are we in?
This is where, we're going to assume this is half point PPR. Okay. Keep it in the middle.
I mean, it depends who I have.
I know. Well, yeah, it always depends who you have, but I already know my answer just based on this.
I think you can get more value for McCaffrey, no?
Not at this point.
He's what, 3-4 weeks away?
Who knows? It might be 6 weeks. Like that's
correct. So I'm assuming you're going for the trade.
Yeah. You give me Mixon and DJ Moore in like any PPR format, I'm in. 100% in. Mainly because I'm a Mixon guy. And DJ Moore he's the most target on this team. So there's nobody else really there, especially with Christian McCaffrey not there. They're both on the same team. So
yeah. I mean, it's tough when you're looking at an injury and not sure when they're coming back.
Yeah.
So it really depends. For me, it depends how desperate you are, right? Do you need to win a few games now, or can you afford losing a couple?
Let's say, or if you're 0-2, if you have Christian McCaffrey, you shouldn't be 0-2, but let's say you're 0-2. This trade makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Yep. All right, next question from Perry. If Julio is active, do you play him? Who would you play over the following? OBJ, Kelly, Gibson, or McKinnon?
This is a really tough question. Because if Julio plays, you always want to start him because he gets targets. I have this same issue. I have Julio Jones, and I don't know what to do. I have no clue. Right now, he's on my bench, and I'm starting CeeDee Lamb over him.
Okay.
So
I would go with Kelly.
because there's a safety or
I mean, he's going to get you a good amount of points. He might not go off, but he'll get you
I
that
would
10, 15, 20 points.
OBJ could be a decent start too on this one. So, but
OBJ's been rough for the last.
he had a good game last Thursday.
Yes. Yeah. He had a normal game last Thursday for the first time in a long time. We say it's a good game, but it's not like he went off. He gave a decent amount of points to his fantasy owners for the first time in a long time. All right. I'm over OBJ. All right. Question from Juan.
All right.
John. Ridley or Jay Taylor in PPR?
Jonathan Taylor, yeah, in PPR. Mm-hmm. So if Julio is in, I'm going Ridley all the way.
Well, Ridley's considered their number one, right? So I don't even know why this is a question.
No, because for me, if Julio's out, guess who gets a majority of the coverage?
Still.
Ridley. Yeah. We haven't seen it. We haven't seen Ridley. I mean, he's had a few games, I think, last season without Julio. Sorry. I don't want to be wrong on that.
He did well. I had him last season. Every time he played without Julio, he did well.
Julio didn't miss a lot of games. So
he missed 2.
So for me, this was a tough one. For me, if Julio is out, Ridley, I would rather play Jonathan Taylor because there's a safety. If Ridley
either way.
Okay, for you, Ridley. Okay. That's a tough one. All right.
All right. Next question from Dan. Start Kupp or Marquise Brown this week?
This is a tough one. Cooper Kupp has a difficult matchup against the Bills. Their secondary is good. Mm-hmm. So we don't know who's going to be shadowing Kupp or Woods. So they have some good secondaries in Buffalo. And so this is a tough one for me. I would start Marquise Brown.
I'm with you there too. Although Kupp's always a good start.
He needs his touchdowns. He needs to score. Like last week, all the touchdowns went to Higbee. Mm-hmm. If it wasn't for Higbee, usually Cooper Kupp gets those touchdowns in the end zone. Higbee's taking that away. It sucks.
A lot of players have taken things away from Kupp. Kupp's become their...
Yeah, he's basically the third pass catcher there.
And my only issue with Marquise Brown is that he's such a great route runner, but Lamar Jackson doesn't throw to him as often as he should.
Well, he's been targeted enough for me to start him. It's not an easy start, but again, he could that one catch and that's it.
He hasn't been targeted enough for the talent he has.
He needs more. He needs at least over 7. And right now he's in the 5-6 range. He needs over 7, over 8.
And usually they throw to him when they need that long third down play.
Mm-hmm. If you're behind, like if you're behind in certain leagues, like from Thursday night, you started certain wrong players. For me, Marquise Brown is a more of a, hey, I need to win, right? I need that big game. Cooper Kupp, I can't see him having a big game. Marquise Brown, I can see him having. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, would you start Marquise Brown over Godwin or Evans?
No. Those are way over. No, not even close. No.
All right. Last question from Steven. Half point PPR, start 2. So he's looking for 2 starts. Mike Davis, David Johnson, Robert Woods, Deontay Johnson.
Deontay,
what did I say?
Say Dante. I see.
I hear Deontay Johnson's better than Deontay, but David Johnson, Deontay Johnson.
I have Deontay Johnson. I'm an owner. It looks like he's trying to become that Mr. Brown from the Pittsburgh.
What's going on with David Johnson?
Look, he's not getting enough targets. He's not getting enough rushing opportunities. They've had tough matchups. I give them that, but I don't know. I have no clue.
Are they concerned because he got hurt last year and they don't, they're just kind of taking it easy on him in the beginning?
It's possible. It's possible. So who would you start? 2 players.
I mean, Robert Woods, definitely, right?
Yeah, for me, Robert Woods out of all those is right. But for me, no, actually, Deontay Johnson is the first pick right there.
Yeah. I'd probably go Woods and Deontay.
Mike Davis, again, this is his first game. Who knows what's going to happen, right?
Look, I picked up Devontae Freeman, and I'm not starting him this week.
Well, yeah, you want to see what happens. This is what you want to do.
Now, yes, there's a chance he might go off and, do some crazy stuff, but we don't know. All right, it looks like we're running out of time here.
Last question.
That was the last question.
Yeah, but what about our waiver question?
Oh, all right.
Let's try to fit it in.
Okay. All right. Should waivers be locked daily after Tuesday, or should each day be a free agent pickup, first come, first serve basis?
So in our league, since I'm the commissioner, you could tell, well, what do we do?
Well, we have every day where it's locked, where you can pick up waivers, and it goes through at 11:05.
So we initially had that for on ESPN, but ESPN doesn't give you the flexibility, for example, to open Sundays. You guys had an issue. People have issues with that, right?
Mhm.
You get into Sunday, somebody's injured, you can't pick up anybody else because the waivers are locked. So Sleeper app gives you that opportunity to pick a day, whatever day you want. So we did that last year with Sunday. We opened up Sunday for free waivers. It worked well. Everybody loved it. And this year I added Thursday because of the Thursday night game.
Correct.
So how do you like it so far?
It works great. If you have to do a last minute trade on game day, you can.
Like last minute pickup, right?
Correct. And you don't have to worry about missing something, right? If you're busy with work or life and stuff, you don't have to sit there 20 hours on your phone. 10, 20 minutes before bedtime, you can get a good waiver pickup.
Yeah. And that's my argument, right? That's been my argument to you guys. And the other leagues I play in, I commissioned 3 leagues, and I play in. Last year I played in I'm trying to add 8 leagues without my leagues, and then this year I'm playing in 5 extra leagues, and none of them have locked waivers. All of them have open free agency every single day.
Because if you're unemployed right now and you got all day to sit there, drop, pick up, drop, pick up. It's just
I agree.
Guys working 12 hours a day can't be on his phone at all. It's not good for competition.
It's not, and I've talked to people about it, and I don't know why people just don't want to do it. And maybe it's because they're not on the Sleeper app, where they don't have the flexibility, right? They don't want Sundays to be locked.
Correct.
But I try to talk to people about it, and it's just like this foreign language, and I'm like,
here's the thing: if you're still using an app that doesn't let you open and lock each day individually, then maybe you should change apps.
I've been promoting the Sleeper app, so hopefully one day they're sponsored.
Well, hopefully they sponsor this podcast.
But again, to finish off, if your league is free agents all the time and you like it, that's because you probably don't have a job that you can have access to your phone all the time. That's why you like it. That's what I'm saying. I tell people, stop being so selfish. Think of people that are working out there, working away. They don't have cellular connection. It sucks for them. People have families. They work.
Some people have lives, and not all of us can be a part of 25 leagues like you, Mr. Commissioner.
Yeah. Well, I still have that. All right.
Sign us off.
All right. Thank you guys for listening. Good luck Sunday. I go again. Hopefully nobody gets injured, right? Less injuries, please.
Hopefully.
All right. Take care, guys.